Alright, what's up, y'all? Been on a slight hiatus. I haven't posted a video in a good week or two. Just been taking a break from this heat that we've been having in Zone 9B, although it is late in the season. So for this video, I just wanted to show this Chinese sweet basil plant, which I grew from Baker Creek seeds. You can see some honeybees in there pollinating. Legs full of pollen. Not too many bees in there. I only see about 2 or 3 right now, maybe 4. Let's get a close up on this basil. You can see that that is flowering definitely, but right now we are late into the flower stage. So now the flowers are actually starting to dry and form ripe seed pods. So these brown parts of the plant are holding seed that is ready to be planted. There's a bee right in front of me. See if we can get him on focus. So you can see they're definitely pollinating the open flowers that they can find. I gotta tell you, I love this variety. It's absolutely sweet. The aroma from it is just mind-blowing. I mean, when I first pulled the leaf from this variety and I smelled it, it's like, wow. I didn't really know how I would use it in cooking, but I tell you what, I use it in everything. I especially like to use it raw, and I add it to my cooked meals after the meals are finished cooking, or I also cook with it toward the end of the meal, and it imparts this, some say it's a citrusy flavor. I wouldn't necessarily call it a citrus flavor, but it is along those lines. To me, it's just very aromatic. I mean, I've never smelled anything as aromatic as this variety, and it's also prolific. I mean, look at it. I have so much of it to use, you know. So it's not like I'm just pulling a couple leaves here and there and saying, oh, it has this type of quality. No, I have a big forest of it growing right here, and I tell you what, every leaf I pull from this plant is just worth it. I've never eaten a leaf from this plant that was bitter. Even during the flowering stage, it's always sweet. I mean, now when it's not in the flowering stage, the scent is a little more potent, but I mean, you wouldn't even know it, I promise you. Just look at that. I'm gonna have so much saved seed from this variety. If you're looking for it, you can contact me or a Baker Creek seed, and you can just see it. It's just doing excellent. I don't water it at all. Like I said, it doesn't get bitter at any point of the season. It's just it's sweet all the way through. Now what I can say is as it flowers, the flowers take a long time to turn into seed pods, but I wouldn't necessarily call that an issue. It's just gonna take a little bit longer to harvest seeds from this variety than it would just standard basil varieties. I've been showing the front angle. Let's see if we can catch it from the back angle. Have some peas growing down here. Gotta watch my step. And some shatavari asparagus. Okay, we're in. So here's the Chinese sweet basil on the back end, and I can see about 3 or 4 bees definitely swarming this plant. I eat the flowers also. There's so many of them. I mean, why not, right? Yeah, I definitely eat the flowers. Let's get some of that grass out of there. But like I said, this has got to be my favorite basil variety. I mean, I have Thai sweet basil growing. I have a type of Italian sweet basil growing. I mean, I have a bunch of sweet basils growing. I have the African basil growing. I can't recall a Cocoa Mesa. I have a Cocoa Mesa basil growing right now, which is a variety from Africa. I mean, I have a bunch of sweet basils growing, and I've also tried a bunch of basil varieties. And like I said, this is the best. You can see it's just a forest of it. I only had one packet of seeds that I planted, but this is what came from it. This whole little forest. So I just wanted to do this quick basil update. Those bees fighting over the flowers. Plenty to go around, guys. No need to fight. I mean, I tell you what, I never planted a basil before and got so much basil. From one packet of seeds that was released that same year. You know, when normally when Baker Creek releases a variety for the first time, there's not too many seeds in that packet. Now I tell you what, to say there wasn't too many seeds in that packet, I surely got a lot of plants, a lot of sweet smelling plants, and I'm going to save every bit of seed I can. If we just look in here, you can see a bunch of dry pods. You can see the brown pods in there, and those whole stalks are gonna dry up eventually. So that's the Chinese sweet basil. There goes some unopened blooms right there. See if we can get that under focus. You can see some unopened buds. So it's gonna be blooming all the way to wintertime, all the way to first frost. Also, this variety has been handling, I don't know if it's called Blight. It's been handling it very well though. I can show the difference. So you can see how thriving those plants are. And like I said, I'm not sure if it's called Blight or what, but I did notice it on the Thai sweet basil. It was when I believe it was when the weather started slightly cooling down or what. But I mean, the Thai sweet basil has it actually started bouncing back. But this is what I was experiencing. I thought the plants were gonna die out. I noticed that the leaves had started yellowing like this, and they started browning at the tips, and they started yellowing. And I honestly thought I was gonna lose my basil plants, but like I said, the Thai sweet basil has since then started bouncing back, and it's now producing green leaves with red stems, which is very beautiful, I must say. And here's my Italian type of basil. My Italian type, this isn't Genovese. This is actually a very aromatic variety right here. This was a big basil bush. I mean, this was one plant, but it was a huge basil bush. All of this was leaves. You couldn't even see inside of it. But now you can, because that blight, or I don't know what to call it. You saw that leaf just fell off? Like, watch this. It just comes right off. I honestly don't know what to call it, but the Thai sweet basil went through it. It had a light amount of damage, but this one right here took a heavy amount of damage. Now you can see this one is also starting to bounce back. They're producing green leaves again. So I assume it was because we had some cool weather for a couple of days. So that's all I got for right now. This is one basil bush right here. Thai sweet. Now this has been growing. I've been plucking the flower buds off that. I didn't want the bees crossing the flowers with my Chinese sweet basil, since I'm growing this and saving seed from this for the first time. So this guy right here is a winner all the way around. Is resistant to blight. Those leaves stay perfect all the way through. When that Thai sweet basil and that Italian type of basil were suffering, this was pushing through with little effort whatsoever. I've been eating from this plant since I planted it, basically. See y'all in the next one.